Time to call the April Elizabethton Board of Education meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone. And at this time, we will pause for a moment of silence in the pledge to the flag. If everyone would please stand, I'll let Mr. Van Huss lead us.
Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now time to approve the consent agenda and regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second?
Second.
Second, either one of those. Any adjustments on either one of those?
I'd like to point out one thing, if I may. We did add an equipment disposal at the end earlier today. It was for some computers that are no longer useful. And the reason we stuck that on so late is that gives us a chance, if it's approved by the board, we can go ahead and discard those, and it allows us to not have to find somewhere to store those. So that's the reason for that late addition.
Okay. And now it's to approve the regular and consent agenda. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there were none. It's now time for citizens to speak. We didn't have anyone asked to speak before the board. So now we'll move on to special recognitions. I'll turn this over to Mr. Van Huss for the first one.
All right, thank you very much. The first individual we would like to recognize tonight is one of the two latest members inducted into the Educator Hall of Fame. This is part of the Imagination Library here in Carter County in Elizabethton. And each year, one living and one deceased member from each of the school systems, Elizabethton and Carter County, are recognized as part of a recognition, again, through the Imagination Library. And it's also used as a fundraiser to help raise additional funds to purchase books that all the young students that we have in our community get a tremendous benefit from. So we're very thankful for that organization and all that they do for our community. But we had two individuals recognized. The first one was the deceased member, and that was Dr. Josh Wandale. Many of you remember Dr. Wandale and the many contributions and the positive impact that he had on our community. We were very appreciative of the fact that he was selected, and it was certainly a fitting honor. I don't see anyone from his family here tonight to be recognized, but the living member is Mr. Ed Alexander, who is here with us tonight as well. Again, just the personal impact that he's had on me over my time, not only as a student at Elizabethton High School, but again, professionally throughout. So just can't say enough thanks to him for all he's done for me as well as the community. There's no one in Elizabethton that loves Elizabethton City Schools more than that man. You may not always agree with everything he said, but he was passionate about it, and he loved the kids of Elizabethton. So I mean, he didn't always agree with me either, so. So, Mr. Alexander, if you don't care to come up, we'll snap a picture. I know that you won't like that, but just do it.
Just get up here. We'll play Sonya tonight.
Underlay.
Oh, what was that? Slash.
No, I wouldn't do that. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, Dr. Minton, would you be willing to come up and share a little bit about the individuals that participated in the SCOPE conference?
Yes, so thank you. It's an honor to get a chance to share a little bit about what the Scope Conference looked like. Of course, I learned a little bit about it post-pandemic from Mr. Hensley. Prior to my time, I think we had sent a small student group to participate in the Scope Conference. Fortunately for us today, during the chamber breakfast, Gracie had a chance with some other members, like the ones that are sitting here now, to talk to the chamber and some of the members of our Community Partnership Advisory Group about what that experience was like. I was fortunate enough to be able to be there in between the girls' state championship semifinal game and also that night too. So I was able to sneak up there, and we got some hot chicken the night before and walked the town to Nashville and got a chance to, take in the sights and the scenes, but also talk about, policies and education, which I've learned a lot about from them. And I'll let maybe a few of them come up and speak, just if you don't mind, just a little bit about how you explained to the chamber this morning and the people there about how that experience was. And I didn't even realize at the time we were putting out applications even last year about how much impact and how much decision making goes into, I obviously know about how much decision making goes into setting policy and procedures and things for us to follow, but this gives student voice and student feedback and an opportunity for them not only to see what that looks like if they wanted to pursue a profession or pursue an elected position one day, or even sit on as a non-voting member, which we'll obviously have each year. So I'm going to let them come up and just talk a little bit about what that experience was like for them, and also getting to see our students in the mix with other students from other school systems and step up and get a chance to interact and even make some decisions and debate. So if you guys don't mind to come up, maybe just take maybe 30 seconds apiece and talk just briefly about what you spoke about this morning.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Max Garner. I'm a junior at Elizabethton High School. For those of you who don't know, SCOPE stands for Student Congress on Policies and Education. And how I would describe it, like, you know what Model UN is? It's like Model UN for school boards was kind of how I would think about it. You're kind of doing what you guys do, where you're on a school board and you're discussing policies that are put up. And so what we were doing there is they had a set list of topics that you were, debate topics that you were given. And when we were there, we discussed them with people, and we kind of picked a representative, and we kind of discussed and we debated, and we had a big debate in front of everyone, all the people participating from all over the state. But it was really interesting to see, and I'll let them, if they want to, maybe talk about some more specifics, but it was really interesting to see not only, how to go about breaking down a topic like that and how to, see how it's going to influence your education, which is obviously, extremely important. There's so many different policies to look at. Yeah, I'll let someone else go.
All right, so I had a lot of fun. I know that my favorite part was eating at Hattie B's before we went, but it was really good. But it actually opened my eyes because I want to go into the healthcare field, but my backup option is education. And so it let me see how an official school board meeting is held, and it also let me meet other kids from different schools, from Maryland and Ottawa, and I had no clue that those were schools. And so I got to meet a lot of people. I even exchanged phone numbers with some people that I got to meet, and so they're going to my college, and it was a really good bonding experience.
Hello, I'm Hannah McCoy, and I'm a junior. This opportunity, I'm very grateful for it. It gave me a glimpse into what my future role will be as student liaison, so I'm very grateful to have experienced that. I learned a lot, and like Izzy said, the connections that I made with several other students, I got to hear about how their schools worked and all of the different clubs they were involved in. I was very amazed by some of them and the opportunities provided to them. So I was grateful to see all of that, so thank you all.
Hey, you guys know me. I'm just pretty much reiterating everything that they said. I talked to you guys about this at the last school board meeting, but, being able to meet students from different backgrounds and different schools and stuff, it was super eye-opening. Hattie B's was amazing. 10 out of 10. Would definitely go there again. But it was such a good experience for me personally, being on the board. It made me think about a lot of things that I hadn't thought about before from different perspectives and different students, and, how people from different backgrounds react differently to these education things. I'd tell them things we did at Elizabeth, and they'd be like, I've never heard of that before in my life. And, kind of we reciprocated ideas with other students and stuff like that we were able to bring back and discuss with Mr. Mitten and Mr. Hensley and even other teachers and things like that. So pretty great. Had a great time. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's all from me. And Hensley was a phenomenal phenomenal tour guide, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So before we take a picture, I don't know if it was coincidental or not, but you know, Gracie getting a chance to go, and then Hannah being present too. It's really neat to see. It's almost like a passing of the torch in some ways, of kind of getting for them a chance to, you know, we sat at Hattie B's. I like the chicken and waffles too. I didn't have the waffles, but I like the chicken. But you know, we did have a chance to kind of talk about, you know, what her experience has been like, and then, you know, Hannah's getting a chance to meet other people. We also learned, even in the breakfast line that morning, of other school systems that do what we do in a lot of ways and have non-voting members, sometimes multiples. So it's interesting to see that. So not only do they get to learn from each other, but obviously other students from other school systems. So hopefully this is something we can continue in the future. I'm confident that we'll have the support of that. So just appreciate them, and I also gained a lot from just being present and kicking off the morning. So 4 great students here, very proud of them, proud of our kiddos.
Mr. Hensley, do you have anything to add or share?
Yeah, I'll just add just a huge thank you to the school board for allowing us to go. It's a TSBA event, so I'm very thankful the board allows us to go. This is the 4th time we've sent students, and every time it's always a great experience. For me, I love getting to see them go down there and just work with other students, and also see them craft these amazing arguments that win, right? Right. So able to see our students go down there and mix with all these other students and get ideas, bounce them off of each other. And I love the conversations they have on the way down, talking about, here's our topics. On the way back, well, this person said that. Well, this person said that. So it's just a lot of fun to see that. So again, thank you all so much for supporting, and thank you all for allowing me to be the person to take them every year. It's a great blessing, so thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Hensley. Mr. Hensley.
Yeah. This will be collector's items one day.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Colbert, if you would come up for the next presentation.
As I'm sure the board and everyone knows, Elizabethton High School is very proud of all of our programs. Tonight we're going to highlight our aviation program, and just to give you a little bit of recent background on that, again, where the governor's passed the ISM Innovative School Model Grant, we get money for different things. Oak Ridge is trying to start a program for the first time. Their CT director, Holly Cross, actually saw me and asked me several questions about aviation and so forth, which I'm very flattered from that. And even last week, the CTE director from Tullahoma, Tennessee, also reached out to ask us several questions about what we're doing. Go back 3 years ago, Cleveland, Tennessee sent 3 or 4 people to spend the whole day at Elizabethton High School to see how things are going. So a lot of people across the state do look at us for advice on aviation, how we teach it, what we're doing, and what direction we're going. However, you got to understand, as good as our students are and teachers are, without community support, which is why I'm standing here now, none of this goes very well. So tonight we're going to introduce Mr. Steve Hopland. If you want to come on up with me now or in a second, I'll let you say exactly what all you've done. But thanks to his support, we're going to expand it and try to make it even better, because even that technology we have is 10, 12 years old. Don't remember the exact year, and I'm not a pilot. I don't get this at all. But I know there's like a little dashboard thing that's avionics, avitronics, AV something. And so what we have done is we're trying to update those. And so Mr. Hoppen has made it available for us to take a good program and make it even better. So he's given us a huge contribution to the school, to the aviation program, to our kids. We have 11 kids this semester who are working on flying solo. Some of them will maybe try to get their private pilot license this summer. They'll take their written test for the private license in the next month or so-ish. So we're doing some good things. But again, we're trying to even make it better, and we can't do that without support and help. Again, Steve Hopland here behind me has given us quite a bit of help on that, and I'll let him, if he wants to, describe all those things that I don't know exactly what it is, but I know we cannot fly the planes without all those controls. Thank you, Mr. Hopland.
Yeah,
come prepared to talk. But I do appreciate the school board and their support of our high school. It really is. I learned to fly when I was in high school here and felt supported by our community and loved the way that they're raising students. And am very proud with the aviation department, the way they're supporting it. So when I found about the need, I was happy to partner and donate the money in order to upgrade and get better equipment. And I've used a simulator even as a pilot now to maintain some currency, and it is a great training device that is very limited. There is nothing else quite like it in the whole region. There's, the private sector or anywhere else. There's nothing quite like that in this area. So I've told several other school systems that I've interacted with over time as to what Elizabethton's doing, and they ought to look at this in other markets. So you guys are really leading the charge in aviation, and proud to support and help in ways that I can. So it's nice to partner with a school board that supports the students of the school.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, if y'all come up, we'll get a Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. We appreciate Mr. Colbert being here. So next, it's time for director's update.
Yeah, and if anyone does not want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're free to go. Don't feel like that you have to.
It's a very
have to
short
stay.
agenda, but I know you have other things to do, so
No.
you may leave this time.
Bye, guys.
Good deal. Thank you all. Okay, Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you, sir. Again, we appreciate the opportunity again to recognize students and members of our community, members that have given so much to our school system. So we never want to take that opportunity for granted. We're very, very appreciative. We're blessed to live where we do and have the support that we do. First of all, I want to mention we had a chamber breakfast. Someone mentioned that a little bit earlier. The high school hosted that today. There was a great turnout there. We had students that presented, the students you saw here today talking about scope, shared with them as well. There was an activity that they did with the members there to kind of give them a feel for kind of what it was like to go through that debate process. It was a very, very, important question. And the question was, which is better, the chocolate chip cookie or the Oreo? So, there was a lot of debate that went on. It was a lot of fun, but they certainly got the gist of what it was like. So we appreciate them doing that. Our students also had a chance to perform jazz band, percussion ensemble. We had and again we had another student group that also talked about the Tuffy's Cafe, the coffee shop there, and how that whole process has worked. So again, it's just great to see our students perform and stand up in front just as they did tonight, and just with the poise under pressure. Yes. The bottom line is there's pressure when, students are sitting here in front of adults, and they're so poised, and that says a lot about the faculty throughout our school system that they've prepared students to feel comfortable to do that. On Monday, May 1st, at 8 o'clock, we will go live with our open enrollment for new tuition students for the 23-24 school year. We are posting some things in social media. I hope to have an article in the newspaper this week, but anyone that's interested in that, they can go to our website, www.ecschools.net. If you click on the Parent tab and then the Cyclone Connection tab, they can follow the directions there. But again, they can't do that until May 1st, and that will go live at 8 a.m. on that day. Also, work is continuing at Harold McCormick. All the asbestos has been abated in 2 of the classrooms. They did that over spring break, and now they're in the process of putting those finishes back in. We hope to have 2 of those rooms finished before the end of the school year. We really think that's going to be a boost to the faculty and staff there, where they can actually walk in and see what that's going to look like in the future. And we talked today in the principals meeting, you think about if you've ever lived through a remodel at your home, it's trying. You want to strangle everyone you live with. So we're trying to help them through that process. It's going to be a tough year next year, trying to make it through there, but it'll certainly all be worth it. Will it be worth it, Mr. Wampler? It'll be worth it, right? Yeah, it'll be worth it.
He's not paying attention.
Yeah,
He's whispering.
it's already worth it. Also, we're looking forward to sharing information with you later about the second budget workshop, and and what we have going on there. We also have a budget workshop scheduled in conjunction with City Council. That's on May the 1st at 11:30. So we're looking forward to sharing some capital infrastructure needs with City Council as well. And again, we appreciate Mr. Simmerly being here with us tonight as well. Summer school plans also well underway. We received some bad news, and that was that our funding has been cut between 30 and 35%. I'm not really sure the logic for that when we decide we're going to have an influx of students or we're going to retain potentially in third grade that may be required to take summer school. We have funding for 2 years. We implement third grade retention, and we cut summer school funding all in the same year. But anyway, we, thanks to Dr. Newman and the staff that have worked on that, we're still going to have a quality summer school. It's just unfortunate what it'll do. It will limit the number of students that could participate in that. So that's just a reality, but again, we're excited about the results that we've had in the last 2 years, and again, how that will play into the same thing this year. Just a reminder about end-of-year activities, specifically at the high school. Top 10% banquet is on Monday, May 8th at 6:30. Honors Day is Wednesday, May 17th at 9 a.m. And, of course, graduation, I mentioned that last month, Saturday, May 20th at 9 a.m. And those of you on the board, we should meet in the Media Center at 8:15 that day. Also, I want to thank you for your willingness to consider moving the May meeting to the 16th. I have a meeting in Knoxville that day, and it may push me to get back on the regular third Thursday, so thank you for being willing to move that to Tuesday the 16th at 5:30. And, sir, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Van Huss. Now it's time for board member reports. Any member have a report about anything that they have attended or anything that's going on?
I went to the art show they had downtown, and it was very impressive. Couldn't believe all the talent that we have in the Spectrum City Schools. I mean,
Yes.
from elementary through high school.
It was unbelievable.
It was.
Second year, and the artwork could be purchased, and all the money was donated to the Isaiah House. And I think the last count was over $1,800 was raised for that artwork, again, to benefit the students that receive benefit from the Isaiah House. But you're exactly right. Miss Malone, all the art teachers across the system did just a tremendous amount of work. Again, this is year 2, and to see how it grew from last year to this year, it's just priceless to see families. And the neat part is you see an incredible cross-section of our student body that do that. You see kids walking in like a baseball uniform, and their parents are there. And, you know, just the looks on their faces when they see their child's artwork, hanging there. It was very impressive, and we appreciate all of their work to make that possible. And again, just another opportunity to showcase our children. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Now, Mr. Simmerly, our city council liaison. Good to see you.
I'm bearing gifts tonight.
All right.
Look through these and take one out or take a couple out. They're flowers. And if you're a non-master gardener like myself, I will tell you, these flowers are very easy to plant. Our master gardener that we have with Keep Carter County Beautiful tells me you need about 1 inch of soil. Put the seed down, take your hand, push it around, put water on it, and it's like magic. They will grow. How about there's packs of zinnias, and there are packs of what we call pygmy sunflowers. And a pygmy sunflower gets about knee high, so they're very small sunflowers. As you look at these packages as they're passed around, these packages, everything was put together by your AP Environmental Science class at Elizabethton High School. Now, we got some ribbon about it today. I had a noon meeting today with Keep Carter County Beautiful and got some ribbon because we have other schools in the county. So we're going to have a little competition next year with some county schools. I know this is city school, but we're going to have some county schools involved as well. But I just want to say what a wonderful job. As you look at these packages, we gave your teacher with the environmental, I'm sorry, I don't have her name, but we gave them the project. They accepted the project to basically complete. We told them, hey, we've got pygmy sunflowers, we've got zinnia sunflower seeds. And they developed everything that you're reading on these packages. They drew the artwork for them. And the only thing we provided them, besides the little envelope to put it in, we provided the logo for Keep Carter County Beautiful. So that's the kind of things that your students are really stepping out of the box and doing. And I think for a high school kid, that's pretty daggum creative. Very, very pleased with that. So again, our appreciation, our gratitude. And as you're out this summer going about different venues, covered bridge days and so forth, you're going to be seeing these little packs of flowers. So if you want some more, we got plenty. I just ran out tonight because I didn't realize there's going to be so many people here that I gave flowers out to. But please plant them. We have a lot of bees. We have problems with our bees, so we need more flowers, more pollen. And of course, your kids that take science classes know all about the bees and the flowers. So, but again, we appreciate that. My wife gave me a hard time about coming to the meeting tonight. My apologies. I've got jeans on, but I did wear a jacket. I've got a dress shirt on, but I had several meetings today. You think when you're retired you wouldn't have all these meetings? Seems like the meetings are more, but very appreciative of all the time and opportunities we have in our community. Earlier today, we did have a new business opened here, or had a groundbreaking here in town, Eastman Credit Union. And I mention that for the fact is, I'm a businessman. I'm always looking for money. Well, this guy's got money. We're looking for money, sponsorship, whatever it may be. Eastman Credit Union. I understand that they are a good supporter of their communities. The lady who is the CEO from Eastman Credit Union is an Elizabethan girl. Her grandparents worked down at Bimberg, and so she and I had a long talk about giant food markets, Kay's Ice Cream, and Bimberg. So, but again, it's just some fun. But again, it's more opportunity for our community. Always looking for the school systems. Always looking for money. And of course, I'm always looking for volunteers. I want to mention that again. I know the students that have so many hours that they need, but we have so much need in this community. If you read the local papers, for some reason, people, I don't know if it's from COVID or what, they're just not volunteering anymore, or very little. We do 6-8 times a year, we do volunteer work with planting trees and flowers and so forth to keep Carter County beautiful. We'd have 20, 30 people turn out. Now we have maybe about half that number. So I'm saying that is because earlier this week we had Mr. Maines with Park and Rec. When I was a kid growing up, if you was a lifeguard, that's pretty cool stuff. And you get a paycheck, that's even better. But we need lifeguards. We have such shortages, Park and Rec we need. But again, kids, if you know anyone, any friends that need a job, gosh, we've got plenty of work for them here in the city. It's not bad pay. I mean, it's not great pay, but it's not bad pay. So again, I just wanted to say that, say thank you for all the students, what they've done. This is pretty cool stuff here. You look at those little packages of seeds. It's pretty good stuff. And again, it's just so appreciative of what all the students with Elizabethton City School Systems work with us. Maybe next year also, I threw a little boomerang to my group earlier today in our meeting. I said, well, how about the elementary schools here in the city? I think those elementary kids can draw some pictures and put some stuff on there for our for our seeds that we have as well. This is going to be an ongoing project. It's seeds we're giving away free, no charge for anyone. And again, we're having some fun with it. But I think the kids are going to be appreciative. They're going to say, hey, that's my sunflower there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simley, for all that you do. And now, Miss Gracie, the student liaison report.
I don't have anything tonight.
It sounds like a senior at the end of the times. No.
I can just say, though, that chocolate chip cookies won today at the
They
Chamber of
did.
Commerce, rightfully so.
Wasn't even close.
So that's my report for tonight.
That's your report. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, okay, now it's time to move on to the regular agenda. First item, only item, approve the fiscal year 2023 Innovative School Models Grant application. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A motion and a second. Let me take that. I'll take that as a second. Okay, you want to?
Yes, so we're going to ask Mr. Colbert to come up and just kind of hit the high spots on this grant. He mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we're very, very excited about some of the items that are included in this and how it's really going to transform and give students opportunities we've never been able to give them, or in some cases, we've not been able to give them in a long time. So, Mr. Colbert.
Yes, and Mr. Pless said a while ago was glad to see me. I actually was going to Blue Circle to pick up a Reuben sandwich, and all the road construction led me to here. So,
Got you.
but that being said,
Glad you wandered in.
yeah, got On a serious note, the ISM grant is obviously something Governor Lee has done, and it was not supposed to be as difficult as a federal grant, but it ended up kind of being as much. We had to put a lot of data and work into it, so I'd like to thank all those who helped with it, first of all, from the central office people to the high school and middle school folks, because the grant targeted $1 million per high school across the state. It didn't matter if you have 2,000 students in your school or just a couple of hundred or so, but they got $1 million, and then the middle school is 500,000 for the middle schools, and there was a minimum number you had to meet. I just don't remember what it was, but for the most part, you get the idea. Most of the middle schools got 500,000. So those were the amounts, and you had to think a little bit outside the box. How are you going to do space in this building differently, time and things like that, and how we're going to come up with the instruction differently. So the things that we're going to try to add is, for example, at the high school, we're going to add construction, and that's very difficult because if you don't add on to the building, okay, that's a construction problem in and of itself. So we got to figure out a way to redo all the stuff inside the school to do that. So that's going to be one of the first things we do, and we do get to buy a lot of new equipment. Again, I was very grateful for the contribution Mr. Hoplin gave us to upgrade our aviation program, but we have other needs in other programs that need to be updated, so we are going to buy some equipment there. We're looking for more dual enrollment opportunities with some of the equipment. It's going to make it easier for us to do, because, for example, next year we are going to do dual enrollment with TCAT for like the IT program, and down the road we'll do it with ag mechanics, with diesel technology and things like that. So there's some of the things that we'll be doing on the middle school level. They also need to remodel a little bit to add a teacher or at least a classroom for what they're going to do, and they're going to hit the career exploration scene as hard as they can to hopefully make a better transition as middle school kids leave the middle school to come to the high school, and we're going to try to make that just a lot better for them. It is a 4-year grant, so some of the money has already been released. So we can start spending some money now, and then the next part of it will be released later on in the summer, July-ish, sometime around there, and that money will allow us to do other things as well. But again, the highlight, I guess, would be the high school is going to get construction and other things. That's not the only thing. For example, again, diesel technology will be a big one for Mr. Agan and the ag kids, but that's a summary at least of what we're doing. Does anybody have any questions?
One thing I'd like to highlight there that Mr. Colbert mentioned was at the junior high, we're going to have every student that comes to the junior high will have 2 opportunities in their 3 years to really get in and experience the different CTE programs we have at the high school. So that's the real focus, is that once they reach that 8th grade year and it's time to start building a schedule for their freshman year at high school, they're going to have a good feel for those programs, not just aviation. Well, we want to dig a little bit deeper. So they're going to have opportunities to do units in each of those CTE offerings that we provide. So they'll have a little bit of a hands-on experience and a better understanding of exactly what the program is to make those decisions. So we're excited about what that's going to do at the junior high. And again, that's just going to help feed the programs at the high school with the students that they need. And based on the new funding formula, every student that's in those in certain CTE courses will generate additional funding. So this will give us an opportunity to make sure that students understand what's available and then make those decisions. So,
speaking of extra opportunities, one other thing we were doing, because this is a trendy thing, I guess, for a lot of the high schools, because to meet the needs of some kids who maybe can't get to work-based learning assignments. This year, the high school really did a great job with a couple of things in-house. So we have work-based learning opportunities with Tuffy's Cafe and with the Cyclone Network. So kids don't even have to leave. That's wonderful for us, because some of our kids, if they take nursing ed, they have to be able to drive to Ivy Hall, because that's where the nursing home is. You got to be able to go. And so we're purchasing vans down the road. We'll get one sooner rather than later. The other one will come along a little bit later, just to help transport kids, take kids places, even if it's just a short drive from getting kids from T. Duggar to the high school to see certain things and things like that. So we're, again, trying to rethink how we do space, time, and instruction on some of these items.
So they just release it. Is it kind of scheduled release amounts and everything, or
as soon as we got ours approved, which was 2 or so weeks ago, don't remember the exact date, but yes, the money was released immediately then for us to start ordering, and we have God bless Miss Taylor. She has a lot of that paperwork already done, ready to sign off on. The orders can go out now. So yes, that part of the money's already been released. It was originally they were going to release 25% each year for 4 years, and then they modified it because they know it's hard to get things exactly to those numbers. So they gave us a lot of leeway and said, space it out as best you can for different reasons. So it's, yeah, a large chunk of our money has already been released, and the bulk of it is to remodel to get things ready for August.
Any other questions for anyone?
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Culbert. The motion is to approve the fiscal year 2023 Innovative School Models Grant application. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? And there are none. We do have one. You want to?
Yes,
Yeah, let's
yes.
go ahead.
As we mentioned earlier, we were recognizing the 2 individuals that were inducted into the Carter County Educator Hall of Fame. And I see that Dr. Wandell's daughter, Jayla Wandell, is here. So if you all would allow us, we'll go ahead and have her come up and we'll take a picture. Again, as we said before, when you think about Dr. Wandell and all that he did for our community and the students in our community, I know one of the things they brought up, he loved them all the same. If they were in his building, he loved them. He loved this community, and it showed in the way that he treated others. So if you'll allow us, we'll go ahead and recognize him at this time.
Thank you. Next regularly scheduled meeting, as Mr. Van Huss has stated, again, please note, is on Tuesday, not Thursday, but Tuesday, May the 16th. It will be at 5:30 here in the boardroom. And also do not forget that we have a budget workshop immediately following this meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Thank you all.